So, in case you missed it over the weekend, he referenced Chuck Todd, NBC, MSNBC, Chuck Todd. He referenced him as a sleeping son of a, and he spelled it out, a sleeping SOB. He also insulted Maxine Waters as low IQ. But the quote that got the most attention was the sleeping SOB. And now you've got SOB, everybody repeating it and out there. Even one of my dear friends and colleagues, a godly Christian man who's been so careful in terms of how he has presented himself in the midst of controversial issues. He said, look, he's been advocating, he's taken strong stands for years. He's been arrested for strong stands he's taken for pro-life and the gospel over the years. He's a courageous follower of Jesus, fearless, doesn't back down. At the same time, he's always sought to do things in a way that honors Jesus, that is in keeping with him being a reverend, being a minister of the gospel. And on his Facebook page, he said it's distressing to him, when the president uses this kind of rhetoric, and he actually quotes the whole thing right on his Facebook page. I thought how interesting that is, that now things just become common. And you say, well, what's the big deal, man? You're nitpicking. You some kind of prude? Look, we're dealing with enemies that want to destroy America. We're dealing with issues having to do with abortion. We're dealing with the radical left. We're dealing with radical Islam. You're going to get upset if the president uses a little profanity and has a little fun. Well, why can't the president fight ISIS and radical Islam? Why can't the president oppose the agenda of the radical left? Why can't the president work for a better economy? Why can't the president work against the slaughter of the unborn? Why can't he do all those things without the vulgarities? You say, well, presidents say all kinds of things behind closed doors. Yes, they do. And when they now insult and act a certain way publicly, it has a ripple effect through the nation. So that stuff grieves me, just as the other stuff, moving the embassy to Jerusalem in May, that's massive. That excites me. So I'm going to say, well done, Mr. President. And one day and the next day say, sir, please, you're hurting your own cause. You're alienating people. You're further dividing a very divided nation. Well, Obama divided. Yes, Obama divided, and Trump's further dividing. How does that help? How does that help? And the charges of hypocrisy, these are things we need to examine, especially, when I say we, I mean believers in general. But specifically, we who are white evangelicals need to be ready to respond to this charge of hypocrisy. In response to the article that I wrote, I agree with Chuck Todd. I said, look, some of you are going to call me a liberal, some of you are going to call me this and that. Well, we got some interesting responses. How about this one that was posted on Facebook saying this: Brown is a drug addict and a liberal. Yeah, we did block Renee, someone we did block that because we don't allow that level of insult. I don't mind it against me, but we don't allow it just in general on our social media sites where everyone's attacking others. But I'm not just a liberal, I'm a drug addict. Yeah, I guess so. If I was shooting heroin in 1970, 71, that makes me a drug addict today. Yeah, perfect logic there. That makes sense. And then another comment. I mean, just defending Trump. Trump was 100% correct, says Randall. What he said was not vulgar at all. And then he added in this additional comment. He said this: he was right about Mad Maxine also. She is also a mental midget. See, this is the type of stuff everyone just starts flinging words and flinging insults. And we don't think that hurts the country also? We don't think that has a degrading effect on the country also? You say, well, what's worse? That or killing the unborn or killing Christians in the Middle East? Well, that's why I voted for Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. And if I had the same choice to make today, Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton, I would vote for Donald Trump again. But here, there's a good comment posted on Facebook by Kirk. And we need to take hold of this. He said, look, evangelicals believed in the morality and uprightness of the presidential office all the way until Trump was elected. Suddenly, Jesus, the Bible, and the entire Christian faith have taken a back seat. What I do know is 95% of you no longer have the moral right to chastise, judge, nor admonish another president from here on out. Kirk, you make a good point. In other words, if this had been Bill Clinton using this kind of language, say about a conservative commentator on Fox News or a conservative radio host, or if it had been Barack Obama doing it, we would have been in an uproar over it, all right? or the Stormy Daniels accusations. Let's just say they're true. Let's just say that years back, Donald Trump had an affair while married, right? Had an affair with a porn star and paid her hush money to keep her quiet. If true, we don't know if it's true, but if true, let's say that that had come up during the primaries, all right? And in the days when I was supporting Ted Cruz and was opposing Donald Trump, this would be further fuel for my fire to say, aha, you see, the man's immoral. He can't be trusted. He did this while married. He did this while, allegedly, again, but he did this while Melania was pregnant with their child. All right, if the chronology is right. And that'd be further fuel for our fire. Or let's turn this around. This comes out during the campaigning of Senator Barack Obama running for president. And we find out that allegedly he's paid hush money to a porn star with whom he had an affair. We wouldn't have raised that as an issue of concern. So these are things that I think we have to take seriously, and we have to evaluate seriously, and we have to respond to seriously. Now, we can do it in a way that is consistent with our faith and still explain why we choose to vote for Donald Trump, or if the elections were today, why we would vote for him. And by the way, I'm in the midst of a Twitter poll, and it's interesting. From this Twitter poll, I asked the question, all right, in preparation for today's radio show, let's repeat this poll. If you did vote for Trump, would you do so under the same circumstances today? If you did not vote for him, would you vote for him now? So the way it breaks down, 66% of those following me on Twitter did vote for him, 34% did not. So basically 2 out of 3 did vote for him. Out of those who did vote for him, 62% said they'd do so again, 4% said they wouldn't. So out of the 66%, all right, over 90% said they'd do so again. Look at this. Out of those who didn't, so that's the 34%, of that, it's 27-7 saying I didn't vote for him then and I wouldn't now, versus I didn't but would now. In other words, he has picked up more potential voters than he has lost. So we can say, evaluating the issues and seeing how he's governed, we have these pluses here, which are this high, and these minuses here, and we evaluate it and we go with the pluses. And if it had been Hillary Clinton, in our view, the minuses would have been over here and the pluses over here. So that's how we voted. All right. We just have to be realistic and consistent and honest. And I don't know why it's so hard to do that. Why we think we either have to defend him at every point, or why we can't recognize good that he's doing. And then we've got to honestly face the question about how important is character. In the past, we've said it was very important. In the past, we've said integrity mattered. In the past, we've said these things were of paramount concern. Some have said, look, one of the most influential, beloved leaders in American history is Martin Luther King, who was infamous for his many affairs, his adulterous affairs, and his womanizing. And I've seen nothing ever that really denied the truthfulness of those allegations. Are we putting too much emphasis on character? Or can you have strong character in certain ways and weak character in other ways? These are honest questions we need to ask ourselves. And we simply need to be consistent before God. Look, the world is looking to us, whether it likes us or not. It's expecting some type of moral compass from us, even if it hates us and despises us. Let us be consistent.